So guys, we've learned how to make a login button in HTML and CSS. So if you look at this project that we have here, we have a single project of email, password, and a sign-in button, and some two other links here. So the first I'm going to do, I'm going to minimize this. Then I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to name it Alex and here text. Now I'm going to open this folder. I'm going to open this folder right here. And I'm going to create an HTML document inside it. I'm going to title it text index.html. I'm going to call this index.html. I'll click on enter. I'm going to create another folder. This time I'm going to create it for CSS. I'm going to create this for CSS. Then I'm going to create a CSS file inside it. I'm going to create a CSS file. I'm going to call this style.css. CSS. You can tell. I'm going to go outside and create a new folder for images. I'm going to call this images. Just images. Click enter. I'm going to double click on it. Now, what I'm going to create here is I'm just going to paste an image. This is the logo that I'll be using. I'm going to go outside. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to make this bigger, and I'm going to just close this. Right, I'm going to open this in VS Code. I'm going to open this in I'm going to open it as a folder workspace. I'm going to click on desktop and select my folder. Click on select folder. And this is going to load. VS Code is going to load all the folder structure, all the file structure. I'm going to generate a boilerplate. I'm using Emmet to do this. I'm going to title this Alex Annie login. Put a pipe and just write login. Alright. So what I'm going to do here, I'm first of all going to link this. I'm going to link this to a style sheet. I want to link the style sheet together with the HTML document so that we can write the CSS as an external style sheet. I'm going to call this as, I'm going to name it to style sheet. That is the real attribute to style sheet. I'm going to put the href to slash, and I'm going to slash css slash. I'm going to put a dot before that. I'm going to just put slash, a forward slash. Click on enter. Alright, I'm going to put a forward comma and just close the bracket. Now the second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show, this is for the link to CSS right there. Now the second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create another meta tag. This meta tag is going to be for the author. Meta, I'm going to give it an attribute of name, value of author. Then I'm going to give it another value of content. This is going to be Alexandria, like so. I'm just going to click on / slash, close the bracket. Now this is the basic one we are going to have. So the next thing I'm going to do here is to create an H1 just to check if everything is working properly. I'm going to say hello. I'm going to save this. I'm going to open in live server. Let's check what we have here. Alright, this is what we have here. As you can see, we have hello display on the HTML right, like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of it and let's type our other code. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to create a div tag. With so in case you are wondering, I'm actually using Emmet. So if you don't have Emmet, you can just install it. A div tag with a class of main page. The class of main page. I'm going to click on enter. Then the next I'm going to do is to create another div tag with a class of div wrapper. The class of form wrapper. Class of form wrapper. Form / wrapper. underscore wrapper. So I'm going to create another div again. Then I'm going to add an image tag here. I'm going to add an image tag, and then I'm going to put a source attribute of the image folder. Click on enter. I'm going to close this. So I'm going to create another. I'm going to create another tag. This time it's a pic tag with at Alex, and yeah. Alright, so dev. So I'm going to close this there. I'm going to create another p tag for beta. Let's call it beta. Now each of this p element, I'm going to also add a different class to them. I'm going to add a class of Alex, and yeah. So this, while the other one, I'm just going to put a class of beta. Just a simple class will do. Beta. So that's okay. So what I'm going to do next is to go outside of this first div, and then create another div. I'm going to another div, and then inside this div, I'm going to put a class of form box. I'm going to create a form. So this is exactly what I want to do. Okay, in case I want this. So the form is going to be for this part here. So as you can see, if I come down, you see that our text has already displayed here. I'm going to go back. So what I'm going to do here is to create a label. It's going to be a label, and I'm going to call this label sign in. I'm going to title it sign in. So the other one should be, so that's the sign. After a sign, we should have like an horizontal line there. So I'm going to draw the horizontal line with H. Yes, I'm going to put the horizontal line tag, close it. After that, I think we should have an input tag, an input form that's which is responsible for the input tag. I'm going to put a type of email. Then I'm going to put a placeholder. I'm going to call this email. I'm going to close it. Now I'm also going to give this a class of email. Alright, so I'm going to create another one for the password. Another input tag for the password. Class of password. A type of email, a type of password rather, and a placeholder of password. And put the password. So I'm going to close the tag right there. Now another thing I'm going to do is to put another. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to put another one. I'm going to put another input tag. For this one will serve as the button, right? The sign up button. So I'm going to create a class of btn underscore sign in. Alright. So yeah, I'm going to put a type of button. Then I'm going to put a value. I'm going to add a value to this. A value of sign in. I'm going to close this. Right, so this is basically it. So now we need extra two text. As you can see, if I scroll down now, you see that I have the input and everything displayed down there, as you can see, also with the button. Now what I need is what I need now is to put my label. As you can see, we just need two extra text down there, which will serve as password. But before then, I need to break this down. I need to break the, I want them to be on a separate line. I need to break them. So I'll click on my break tag, and that break tag again. Put another break tag there. That break tag. Okay. I'm going to save this. Alright, so if I scroll down, I see that they all now appear in different lines. They now appear in different lines. So I'm going to go back now. So I'm going to add another text. This time around, I'm going to add a label. Label for forgotten password. Because forgotten password. Password. Why the other should be the other label should be, now if you check here, see that we have the other one should be sign up here. We don't have an account yet, sign up here, so that's what we're going to type there. Label, we're going to add another label. So yeah, we're going to call it no account yet. Put a question mark. Sign up. Sign up here. So that's it. So what I'm going to be adding here now is to put in, I'm going to be adding here next is my that's basically all I need to do. So I'm going to add a class. Now this class so I'm going to add a class of forgotten button underscore forgotten button. I'm going to add another class to this one as well. Sign up. Look at the sign up underscore sign up. So this is it. So this is basically it. So I'm going to check if there's anything I've not done. I think everything looks cool. Everything looks okay. Okay, I'm going to add a class here of signing. Underscore signing. So that's it. That's for that part. So basically that's all I need to add there. So the next I'm going to be doing is so come to my CSS folder. Then I'm going to create a wildcard because I want to remove all the margins from all these things. As you can see, I want to remove all the margins so that we can style them properly, the margin and the padding from the page. So I'll first of all create a wildcard. Open bracket. So there's something I need to do first. I need to, if you come here, you see that this our image is too big, and it's not, it prevents us from seeing the text properly. So I'm going to unlink it. So we'll work on it later. That is, it will not be the last thing we work on. So I'll just unlink the image right there. Save it. Unlink it. Save it. As you can see. Now the image is kind of a broken image. So we'll get back to that later on. So let's work on the login form first. So first I'm going to add a padding of 0. Now this padding will start for all rounds throughout the page. Will be of 0 padding. Then the margin will also be of 0. Then I'm going to put a box sizing. I'm going to put box sizing of border box. So the next thing I'm going to do, if I come here, you see that everything has now, all the padding has now been removed. So this other one, what I'm going to be doing here is to add I'm going to come back here. Let me see. Okay. So I'll go down and just check. I'm going to go back. So I'm going to be adding a background color of, I'm going to add a gray background color, but for now I'll just add white. I'll add white and I'll select from one of the, I'm going to hover this place so that I can just get this. I'm going to select, I'm going to use my color picker to select a nice looking gray, nice looking gray. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to check. I'm going to check this one. This is okay, but let's make it a little bit lighter. So now we're going to add a font family. Now I'm going to use my Read Pro. I'm going to be adding two columns, my Read Pro. So that's it. I'm going to save this and see how our effect has taken shape. Now the other thing I'm going to do now, we're going to check for our form. First of all, center it. The page needs to be centered. If I want to center it properly, as you can see at the project window, so we're going to grab the main page, then put it at display flex. I'm going to display flex, display flex, display flex. Then I'm going to go outside. Okay, I'm going to grab the other one. I'm going to go back there and just copy it. Now what we want to do is just to center both of them. So first of all, center the main page, then center the child. Then we want to set the margin of the direct child to margin or 2. So what this does is to automatically center it. Then if I go here, you see everything has not been centered properly. Now the little thing I need for this is taking the width of the page. So now what we need to add is what we need to add is a padding. So we want to add a little padding so that there will be a gap there. So I'm going to add a padding of 5%. So if I go up now, you see I have a padding of 5% right there. Now that's that for that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my form. I'll come back here. I'm going to get for my form. I'm going to get my form. Now I'm going to get for my form and also for the label. So I'm going to grab the label first. No, paste that. So form, sign in. I'm going to change text. We change the text transformation to uppercase. Text transformation to uppercase. Uppercase. So that's it. If I check it now, see that now we convert to uppercase, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do here is to go to my I'm going to go straight to the form, so that if we can design the form, it will make things much more easier for us, because now we can see everything just the way they look like. So I'll go back there. I'll say background color for the form, it should be white. FFF white. So now after that, I'm going to, as you can see now, we have a background color of white. So we're going to set a width of 400 pixels. Width of 400 pixels, and also a height of 400 pixels. So what this is going to just give us the size of a square, which all equal sides are just equal 400 pixels. So if I check it now, you see how everything looks like. You see now we have enough space at the bottom to style our CSS. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to put a border. Now I'm going to be adding a border of 1 pixel solid. I'm going to be using a gray, just a slightly gray, just like the one we have in the background. So what I'm going to do here, just a sample, is a one that is even much more lighter than the one we have on our background. Something like this will do. So let us give it a look and see what we have. Okay, not too fancy, but let's reduce it a little bit. Let's take it up. Okay, I think this is okay. this is much more better than the previous one. As you can see, this is much better. So the next thing we're going to do is to round it. So we're going to round it up. So we're going to use border radius. Now what border radius does is to make sure we have round corners. I'm going to be using 10 pixels here, 10 pixels for the border radius. Let's check it out and see what we have. So as you can see, the borders are now, all the corners are now rounded off. So that's that for that. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to set my form that is for the email. So we want to start the email right now. So I'm going to say email, open the bracket. So first thing we need is to set the width of the email. So we are going to be setting it to as you can see here, we have the email, also have the password, which are both large. So what I'm going to do here is to come here and just add email of, I'm going to add a width of 300 pixels. Go back and I'm going to add height. I'm going to add height of, okay, I'm going to add a margin of now what we actually need here is margin top should be 0. So here I'm going to use 0 again. That is for the right, 10 pixels, 0, 10 pixels. Now let's see what we have. Let's also add 10 pixels here. Now this doesn't give us exactly what we need. So we want the distance to stay at the center of the page of the form. We want the 50-50. Let's put it 50-50. Let's see what we have. Exactly. So it's not staying center at the page. So we also want the thing to have a margin at the top. So I'm going to set the first 0 to 50. So we're giving the margin top 50 pixels. Let's add pixels to it. So I wouldn't margin top 50. So also have a 50 pixels. As you can see now, we have a 50 above. So that's that. So the next thing to do is to add a padding, because now we need to add a padding. Let's add 20 beneath. This will free it. This will give us space. This will give us space between the. This will give us space between the two. This will give us space between the two. So I'm going to come here and just add a padding of 30 pixels. Let's check it out. That's what we have. This is too big. Let's reduce it a little bit. 20 pixels is okay. Let's see what we have. Exactly what we needed. So now we are going to round the corners. They are too sharp. So let's just round the borders. Border radius. We're going to set this to 20 or 10 pixels. One of those. Okay, so we're going to 30 pixels. So I'm going to check this out. Something like this. Okay. So the next thing to do, padding is 10 pixels. Right, this is better. So let's check our sample. Let's see what we have. As you can see, we have our text box there. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back and I'm going to check what we have. I'm going to go back to my input. So now the next thing to do is to add a border of 1 pixel solid. Then I'm going to add a white. Now I want to use this particular gray. I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to paste it beneath. I'm going to replace this one so that we have the same kind of gray color. Yeah, something like this. So let's check it out and see what we have exactly. So we have exactly what we need in that form part. Right, so I'm going to come down and write background color of white to remove the grayish color. Everything looks nice and clean. Okay, just exactly. Now it's looking much better. Now the next thing to do is to basically that's what we need to add. Now we need to convert this for the email. So we can copy this and just paste, or better still, we can just add it as a, we can just add it to the upper one that we have there. Alright, so we can just copy it and just paste. So you see, now we have two of them in the same place. So I'm going to change this to 10. See, now we have 10 pixels there. So we don't need to style this one again because both of them have the same design pattern, so it makes sense for us to use the same code. So that's that. So the next thing to do is to style the button. So I'm going to copy the btn link. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to my CSS and I'm going to write form. I'm going to paste this in. So I'm going to paste it in. Alright. And what I want to do is just to style the button. So I want to style the button. I'm going to put a float. I'm going to float to left. Where is supposed to be float to right. I'm going to float this and I'm going to check what we have there. I'm going to set the display to block. Now the input tag is actually it's actually an inline element, so we want to change it from inline to the block level element. That's why we are putting a display of block. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to break this. Like to start from a new. So I start from a new line. Alright, let's see what we have. So you see, as you can see what we have there. I'm going to change this to right. I'm change it to right, to float right. So let's save and see what we have. So the thing has been floated right. So the next one to add is a pad. It's a pad. You want to pad it. You add padding. Right. 10 pixels. So let's check what we have here. Okay, it's actually not working the way we want, so we are going to change this. So we want to put a space there, so we are going to change it and just go back. I'm going to change it from I think 20. Okay, so I'm going to go back and check this out. And just check this out. Okay, so what we are basically doing now, we are putting it on the wrong place. We need to change this thing from padding to margin. So what we actually need to put is a margin, not padding. So I'm going to put the margin right to 20 pixels. So if we go back there now, you see the effect has been done. So the next thing for us to do is to design it further. So we are going to add a padding this time around. Not padding right, that is padding in general. I'm going to put 10 pixels for the for the top. Then the left will be 20 pixels. Then the bottom will be 10 pixels. Then the left will be 20 pixels again. So we have top, we have right, top, bottom. So I'm going to comment it out here so that you see it. So we have top, which is 10 pixels. We have right, which is 20 pixels. Then we have bottom, which is 10 pixels, and we have left, which is 20 pixels. So that's just a shortcut of writing those pixels. As you can see, the padding that does work very well. So the next thing we're going to do is to add more styling to it. I'm going to reduce this to padding, not padding right. So I'm going to save it. You can see everything has been added properly to it. So what is needed for us to do is to we need to style the border. I'm going to type in border radius and put it to 30 pixels. I'm going to save it and take a look what that looks like. So we see the border radius has been applied. The next thing we're going to add there is to add we're going to add border. We're going to add 1 pixel solid, 2 pixel solid. We're going to add green. We're going to write green there because we want it to be green. Alright, so that I can match with our logo. So then we'll just check what we have here. So we see what we have now. We have a green right there. So the next thing we're going to do is to remove the color, the background color. I think that's what we should do now. So we are going to remove this time we are going to remove the font weight. Let's add the font weight to bold. This is going to make it bolder. than the previous one. You can see bold. So we're also going to add text uppercase. We're going to change to uppercase by transforming the text to uppercase. Now the next thing another thing we're going to add is color. Color should be green. The color, I think we should change that. Change that and write it just green. Alright, so now let's check the background color. The background color should be white. Asterisk FF. Select that one. Okay, so that's basically it. So let's go back and see. Now we have something like this. So that's it. So the next thing, if you see our form field, you can see what we have here. So another thing that we're going to do here is to style our I'll come back to my HTML page. So style our forgot password. So we want to add a link to those things. I'm going to copy that. Go back to my HTML, my CSS rather. I'm going to paste it here. Put a dot. Window. Put a dot and just paste it. I'm going to open my curly braces. So what I need now is to add my so I want to make it look just like this, as you can see. So I need to first of all format it properly. Now if we come back here, you see what we have. First of all, we have to clear it. So what we have to do is just to we'll say text, font size to 0.7 rem. 0.7 rem. So let's check what we have exactly. So another thing we're going to do is we are going to put font weight bold. So we want it to be bold. Okay, so we're also going to put letter spacing. Now this letter spacing allows us to have to space between the text. So 1 pixel is okay. I'm going to go back. I want to see something like this working very fine. So if I come on down here, I will see display block. So this is going to comment to a block line element. As you can see now, we now have a paragraph down there. Now as you can see, we have a background color. So another thing we're going to do, we're going to come underneath and put a background color of white. So we are going to come down again. I'm going to add another thing there again. We're going to add a color of a gray. We need something like ash gray. So we are going to go up and copy the previous gray that we have here. So instead of looking for color, let's copy this one. Let's just copy it. Ctrl C to copy. We're going to paste it right in. Ctrl V to paste it right here. So we have something like this. So that's it. So let's save and see what we have. So you can see it has been formatted. Now we also need to add a padding. Now the padding to adjust it from the other side of the padding left is okay. So a padding left of 20 pixels. So let's save it and see what we have. As you can see, it has not been applied. So if we come here, you see that we have something of that same manner there. So let's put so if I come here, now what I want to do, wants to wait for the other one. So let's check for the link. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste it here. Now this are meant to have link, but we didn't put the link in the first place. So now we are correcting it. We are just adding our a tag. that is for link, and I'm going to copy this, cut it, and just put it at the ending of it and paste it here. Now what we need here is just to target. You can see we have a link there. So if I come back, you see something like this, but we also need a ref attribute. So I will come back there, apply a ref attribute. Now this ref attribute is what will make it, it's what we can use to link the two pages together. But in this case, we're going to use an hash because we don't want it to go anywhere. So you see how the font has now changed to a link, as you can see right here. So let's go back to our code. Now what the next thing for me to do is to go down a little bit, check. Okay, so I'm going to copy this sign up form. I'm going to come here. I'm going to paste it here, so that now the reason why we're doing this is because both of them share the same feature, so it makes sense for us to do something like that. So the effect has not been applied. So what we need to do, we need to remove those particular design from the link. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy all these ones, alright. I'm going to come down. I'm going to paste everything. Alright, so what we are going to do is we're going to get rid of all the, we're going to add our hyperlink, that is A for hyperlink. So we're going to copy all the text, all the style sheet, and not erase it. So I'm going to put my curly braces, which seems to be missing. So I'll put it back. Now what I want to do is to add text decoration and set it to none. Now this will remove the underline that we have there. As you can see, it's nowhere to be found. So the next thing to do is to change the color back to the way it was before. I'm going to say color. So we're going to copy our code back. Okay, we're going to cut it entirely. Alright, so we're going to paste it here, as you can see. No, so now let's save this and let's go back and swap. We have something like this. Now if you look, we have something like the background color. So we are going to also get rid of that. So background color, I'm going to turn it to white. So if I go back there, you see everything is now set properly. Now you can see the link is there, but we don't have an overstate just there, so we're going to also fix that very soon. So here we have line height. We set line height to 2 pixels. Let's see what we get. Now these 2 pixels is not showing anything as if there's line height. So what I'll do now, I will change it. I'll have to change the line height to see, it's not showing as if we have a line height there. So I will have to change it now. I'm going to clear both. Now we're clearing this so that this thing will be on its own. So we've not cleared, so let's clear both. It's still not showing this. So changing it. So let's change it to 20. Or better still 25. So let's see what we have. So the space there is more bigger than we thought. So let's change it to 25. Alright, so this is better this way. Let's do it at 25, so it's much more better at 25. So I'll go back and go back again. So let's go back to our code. Now what we need to do is to go down. Alright, I'm going to copy all this text here. Alright, I'm going to paste it down below. I'm going to add an overstate also, an overstate to the other one. So I'm going to get rid of all this text, get rid of this. Now the color should be, get rid of the background color. I'm going to get rid of the background color, and that color should be green, so I'm going to also get rid of it. Alright, green. Alright, so let's take a look at what we have. You see, now we have the green effect, just like so. Now the other thing I'm going to do is for the login buttons, we want to also have an invert green effect like that. So to achieve that, we are going to let me comment this as overstate. State. So what I have here is I'm going to copy this my login button, go down of my page, and then I'm going to go down and just paste this. I'm going to put an overstate here. Overstate. I'm going to put in color of green, of the background color of white. FFF. I want to go back. So it's not showing now. There's an error there. So we have to go back to our code and just change it so that we can see where we need to go. Let's see what we have here. So if you click here, you see what we have. The thing actually inverts together. So let's go back and just have the same effect with this button. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come down. I'm going to back to our code. Come back here. Oh, we have an error there, so let's fix it. So I'll fix it and let's put the sign up. You see, it's now back to the way it was before. So it's back to the way it was before. So let's go back and fix the button. So let's fix the button. I'm going to cut this. So I'm going to put background color to yellow. So if I invert this now, you see it gives us the exact same thing that we need. So that's it. That's basically how I want it to be. I want to put a cursor of pointer so that it points as if it has a link instead of the normal arrow that Andrew gets. So you see, the pointer has just changed. So it's changing now. So we also want this focus to remove those spaces, as those tiny spaces you can see between the rounded corner needs to be removed. So now we're going to curve this down. So we're going to put a focus for our password. We need to add a focus to them. So just check them. So we're going to say focus. We write a focus there. Focus state. So I'm going to say form dot email dot focus comma. Now we have a comma. So I'm going to add this time form password dot focus. Okay, so I'm going to add a dot to that email. Okay, something like so. So I'm going to add a border of 0 pixels. So if I go back now and click, you see it does become straight. So that's it. Color of green. So if I type, I will have a color of green there. So if I also type, I also have a color of green. So the green effect is to make sure that we have a green color when we type anything in the box. So if I go now, we need to change our login sign, our beta sign, and the other one. So I'll come down here. So I'll come here, do all these things, come down. So what I need is I'm going down a little bit. Sign in form. Display of our block. So if you go back, so it has been changed to block, and we have a background of gray. So we have to remove that. So I have to remove that background. I have to change it to white. Border to margin. I want to remove the margin up side. The same way we have, you want to put a margin, so we are going to set it to margin. So the first one, which is the up, should be 20 pixels, followed by the right 0 pixels, then the bottom 20 pixels, 10 pixels, then the left should be 10 pixels as well. So we're going to save that and check what we have. We see everything has properly been set. That's for that. So I'll come back here. You see, it looks exactly like what we need. So the thing to do here is to add a font weight to bold. So let's see how that looks. Exactly what we need. So what we need, what the other thing we need is, let's check it. So I want to add a space up there. So the next thing to do is to come here and I'm going to get for Alex, I'm going to get that form field, so I'm going to get that. Come here. Put a dot here. I'm going to change the form family to import. So let's see how that looks. Let's go back. Now it has changed to the one we need. So I'm going to change the font size. to 30 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Not as big as we need, so we need to enlarge it a little bit. think that's too much. 40 is much better. 50, I think this is preferable, so let's leave it that way. Now let's put a padding left of 50 pixels. Let's turn it to 80. Okay, a little bit. 90. 100. So that's that. We're going to start for the beta. And the beta text, we need to make it font size 30 pixels. So let's take a look of that. That's better. I'm going to put a font, a color. I'll copy that color. I'll go up. Right color. Right, there was right color. Color. Alright. So yeah, here's what we have. So what I'm trying to do here is to get a padding left. .100 pixels. I'm gonna save this. It doesn't add to what we need, so I'm going to 500 pixels is too much. 300, 400, 350, 340. Alright, so that's it. That's basically it. So everything is set. Now the only thing that we need to do, we need to import that image. We need to link our image back. We need to link back our image. So we're going to go back to HTML. Go back to HTML. Let's add a space between the Alex and the Anya. Yes, that's it. So when we add that space, then we'll come back here. Come back where? Come back up there. Alright. Come back here. Come back here. So we are going to change the width to 30 pixels. Yeah. So that's it. Now as you can see, there's so much space. It's not floating even, so we have to set it to float to our inline. How to make it to display flex? So we are going to look for the div that ties all of them together. We're going to display flex. So we are going to come here, display flex. Wrap from P, we're going to into the P element. display inline. So the thing has not put all of them into the same category. So the next thing to do is to remove that one. I'm going to go back to display block. So I want it to fall beneath, I want to come to a new line. So I'm going to break it. I'm going to go back to this page and just break it. So this is going to come to a new line, something like this. So I want to set the width. I'm going to set the width back. I'm going to set the padding to 340. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back. So this is it. So this is basically it. Everything has been prepared. So if you like this tutorial, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Alright, this is the end of it. So, and I'll see you in my next video. So it looks like the previous one. Both of them look the same, as you can see. Now, there's one thing we've not added actually. If I forget, we've not linked the browser icon. So we're going to link that right now. So I'm going to click on my link. Click on rel attributes. So I'm going to just link the image. So I want to save. So if I come back, it will see it load now. Alright, that's it right there. So that's loaded, and here we have it. So feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.